Fancy. Okay, we're live. Yay!
Yay! So excited to be back.
It's so good to be back. So yeah, we're obviously very excited to be back. For the people who are going to be catching this live or watching this back later, it's been a hot minute for the three of us to be together talking about books, but we are truly overjoyed to be here today.
Yes.
And we'll be getting into it in a little bit, but we will be talking about A Long Fatal Love Chase by Louisa.
Oh, we have the same copy, Kara.
Yeah, we do. Very like pulp novel, like
Yes.
Seems a fitting cover.
Yeah, definitely. Hello. So yeah, before we actually get into talking about that, let's just go around and do a quick little hi, what you been up to? Kara, take it away.
Sure. So hi everyone, I'm Kara. My channel is Wild Book Garden. I do still have a channel. Posting has been very inconsistent because, as Julia put it on our like update comeback post, life has been lifing. So this is the most sporadic my uploads have ever been, but I am not leaving. I definitely want to continue catching up. Yeah, and I'm excited, like really thrilled to be back with Julia and Taylor to talk about books, and I'm going to try and channel some of this energy into catching up on some of my content that I need to post. Yeah, I read a lot of different things. I've been reading a lot less lately, just for the last year or so, honestly, but yeah, I'm excited to like sort of continue getting back into the swing of things. I read a lot of fantasy, historical fiction. We obviously read classics, and I'm very passionate about reading diversely in terms of like author backgrounds, but also like age range and kinds of stories. So all the things.
I'm Taylor. My channel is Page Screen Taylor. Have not uploaded in a hot minute, but I mean, what I've been up to is that my mom died. But other than the awkward thing, I've been reading a lot more since then, mostly Game of Thrones, because I'm like, things are bad for me, but they're not Red Wedding bad.
It could always be worse.
It could always be worse.
Honestly, like super dark epic fantasy can be so good for like going through a difficult time, because it's like, well, at least I'm not being hunted down by an entire army. Like,
yeah. It could always be worse. And I tend to read across genres. Right now I'm doing like dark fantasy, so Game of Thrones, as well as gothic fantasy horror. So I just finished The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. And I am almost done with The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, which is a gothic novel set in Mexico.
It's a historical novel. On theme for you. This is perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Love that. I liked The Hacienda.
I'm really liking it.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, and I'm Julia. This is obviously my channel, Shakespeare and Such. Also, mainly it's just live streams on here, hey. But you know, sometimes you might just get a random video. I said recently to someone that I kind of had a little content bug. We'll see if that has any follow through. But mainly you can find me on Instagram and Goodreads. So same name there. And yeah, I've just been working. So, but it's been good. So no complaints. And I was in a show. So that's always fun.
Ooh,
yeah.
What show?
Tuck Everlasting.
Oh, that's so cool.
A musical. Yeah, so very fun. But now we're back here and we have a doozy of a book to talk about. I am so glad I picked this one. Wowza. Because, you know, sometimes we have books that are interesting picks and it's like, oh, I can't believe we have to talk about this. And sometimes we have books where I'm like, I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to hear. I dying to know what you guys have been thinking while reading this book. In different ways for both of you, frankly. So I can't wait. But before we actually get into that, I know this is going to be a conversation that is rife with spoilers. There's just no way we're going to even be able to avoid any of it because it begins so quickly where it's just like, hey, here we go. So Kara, will you lovingly rattle off all those content warnings from the book for us?
Yes. So the book has, and I imagine almost all of these, if not all of these, will be part of our discussion: kidnapping, grief, suicide, abuse, sexism, racism and ethnocentrism, references to slavery, anti-Semitism, stalking, and animal death.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. If you can think of a trigger warning, it's probably there.
It's probably in there in some capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, Louisa was not holding back.
No.
But so speaking of Louisa May Alcott, okay, so what is your background with her? Let me know your familiarity. I don't think anyone has read this book before.
No. Okay, and I've never read anything like it.
A unique experience.
But what else, if anything, have you read from Louisa May Alcott?
I think I went first for the intros. So Kara, if you want to go.
Okay, I will happily go first. So I have read Little Women. I read it a couple times, and it's never been a favorite classic for me. Like, there are things about it that I enjoy, but I always want to like it more than I do. And for a while, I think that was my only experience with the author. But then me and Julia and our friend Mary Margaret buddy read a duology that she wrote, 8 Cousins and Rose and Bloom. So it was really funny that there was a chapter in this book called Rose and Bloom. That was funny. Yeah. And those books, it was like very similarly. There were some parts I really enjoyed, and there were some parts that I just was not having a great time with. Like, so far, the like consistent theme of my reading from Louisa May Alcott, which I have not read a huge sample or anything, but like I have been very deeply conflicted about all the books that I've read. And one of the biggest reasons is I'm like, I genuinely cannot tell if this is commentary or if you genuinely believe that women are like this. Like, is this commentary or sexism? I don't know. So yeah, those were my experiences before this book.
So. Fair enough.
So for me, I've actually never read anything by Louisa May Alcott. I know everyone thinks I've read Little Women, and I haven't. And at this point, I'm scared too, because like, what if I don't like it? But I am familiar with the most recent Greta Gerwig adaptation of Little Women, and I like that. So, but that's about it. This is my first experience with her. It's a wonderful first experience.
Wow.
What is happening? Lots going on. I don't know if you're going to get into like the history of the publication of the book.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so then I won't spoil that. But when I read a little bit about the backstory, I was like, that makes sense. I see why this happened.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, Kara, we're kind of on the same page. So I've read Little Women a few times, and that being the like modern day as it's published Little Women, which is like Little Women and Good Wives sandwiched together.
Right.
Yeah. Don't ask me why they do that, because it's like that's confusing. I mean, I think it makes for a better story, but also confusing to talk about then. Which I really do like, actually. It's not like a perfect 5 stars for me, but I do really love Little Women. And then 8 Cousins and Rose and Bloom. I am more conflicted on. They're more in like the 3.5 star range for me, but they hold a very special place in my heart. Kara knows I have feelings about that duology. And I'll say this about Louisa May Alcott. She may have never, that I know of, written a book that I have rated 5 stars, but she will always have me surprised. She will always make me cry. And she will always write something where I'm like, oh, that's really beautiful. So
yeah,
I'll give her flowers for that.
Her rose.
Oh my, sorry, my lock screen came on and I was like, wow, I'm losing so badly in fantasy football. That's something else I've been doing on our break, you guys. Fantasy football.
I actually didn't know you were into fantasy football.
Yeah, no, that's new.
Relatively recent development.
Yeah. Football in general is new, let alone fantasy. So there actually isn't an interest in football. It's only fantasy. But that's a discussion for another time. Okay, great. So yes, as Taylor alluded to, this book, interestingly, so it was written for serialization, but actually not published in her lifetime. It was not published until 1995, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I guess a little too scandalous for the people of what do you call, I guess, what is the Victorian equivalent in America?
Yeah, I know. I am always confused about how to describe that because it still has a lot of the Victorian trappings.
Yeah.
But like this is like only a couple years after the Civil War ended. So that feels like a completely different sort of like cultural context, even though there's not a lot of that comes through in the book. So I don't know.
And then I came, hi friend. I can always count on you to say hi. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that because obviously a really big theme that we are getting throughout this whole book is just like morality. It's just getting like shoved down our throats constantly in a way that is not always like boring or preachy. Some of the conversations are actually, I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then some are a little more cut and dry. So I would love to hear your thoughts about why you think she was not able to get this published, and just kind of your thoughts on the vibe of what she was trying to say about morality in this story. A classic non-question question from Julia. We're back, baby.
Back, baby.
So what was the first part of the question?
Why do you think she was not able to get this published during her lifetime?
Gotcha. I honestly feel like a lot of it is like the scandal of it all, like Tempest being married and having active extramarital affairs, Rose being married to him but not really, so living in sin, but also she's a mistress, and you have, I think, that element there, and that's always present. They just never say it like explicitly. They're not like, this woman's a mistress.
Yeah.
But I think that was probably one thing that was pretty shocking.
Yeah. I was genuinely, I shouldn't have been, but I was like aghast when he was like, and this is my wife. I was like, you're what?
Yeah.
That one did get me. Like Leto being his son, I picked up on that, but I thought it was like maybe his son with like someone unmarried or like someone he didn't marry.
You know, your classic love child situation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him.
No, like there were several moments in this book that like even though they fit very well with like the very high drama story, that did actually shock me. So like props for that. As far as your question, Julia, I definitely agree with Taylor. Like the sort of like basic mechanics of the main relationship is very scandalous, including in the way that I feel like this is one of the books that is a lot less judgmental about the women's part in it, which I like. That was a pleasant surprise. I also feel like the sort of like going along with what you guys were saying about like things being very present but never actually named, I feel like there's a lot in this book about like very intense like physical attraction that is not explicitly stated, but it's like so there. And I feel like specifically because that's coming from the female characters primarily, like I guess I mean Philip too, but like especially Rosamund, I think that would have been considered very scandalous. Yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons as well. And also, I don't know if this is a reason that the book wasn't published when she wrote it, but I do think it's incredibly interesting that this book is basically like a contradiction of the like classic, like you can fix him, like healed by the love of a good woman thing. So I like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. But
yeah, it's definitely a wild twist to that classic sort of thing. Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you, because it is genuinely wild that is the whole premise of the book, is like, okay, surprise, he's a bigamist, like, and we just have to live with that for the rest of the story until he gets a divorce, which I feel like even then was probably not easily come by.
Right.
So.
And it's also like very Victorian, in my opinion, that like the big moral drama is almost completely about him being a bigamist, rather than the fact that like he also is a murderer. Like, it's like he like either explicitly or implicitly kills people, but the real issue here is he's a dirty cheater. Like,
okay, but part of me was like, I get it, girl.
And, like, I do understand why it would be more personally like upset, because like he acted so like charming to her, and the whole thing was that like, oh, this is different for him, he's never felt like this about a woman before. So like, yeah, I get why that would be the more personal like slap in the face to Rosamund, that like, yeah, this big thing he was concealing.
Yeah, and they have that whole conversation in the beginning where, I mean, Philip is so funny because he's like the least subtle person in the world. But he's like, would you still love me if I was a bad man? You know, like, asking her all the time. But she's like, oh, yeah, of course I would love you. And he's like, what if I did this or that? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, what if I proved I was totally false to you? And she was like, oh, yeah, no, then I would leave you for sure.
Oh. He's like, wait a minute. Yeah.
He's like,
no, that's so true. Yeah. So, also, like, so side note really quickly, but I like the beginning of this book made me feel so stupid about the end of it, because like I was under the impression from the setup and from the synopsis, I was like, is he actually the devil? What is going on?
I know so too.
I was like, why are they spending so much time like talking about how he looks exactly like this painting of like Mephistopheles? And like, even when they're talking, like the language he uses when he's talking about like the gambling with the grandfather and how like I always take more than he wants to give, like all this stuff, and like we get to the end and I'm like, oh, so he just like regular garden variety evil man. Like I was so confused, and then I felt very dumb.
No, I felt kind of disappointed because I thought she was actually going to make like a pact with the devil, but also fall in love with him, and then that leads to the whole down.
Makes that very ill-conceived declaration, and immediately Philip shows up and is like,
in a storm, no less. He's
like, hey. Storm. And when he says that thing, he's like, you know, whenever I show up, it seems that it is storming, like kind of thing. Like there's all these things, and I'm like, I don't know if maybe that was like an intentional sort of red herring, or if I was just reading way too much into these like gothic tropes. But I thought he was literally the devil, like that we were gonna find, or that somehow he was connected to it, and I don't know.
Yeah. No, and do not feel dumb. I thought the same thing.
Well, I have people doing his bidding who are like so loyal to him. It's like, did you sell your soul to this man? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I totally know what you're saying.
Even the thing with Leto, like before we find out that he's like his kid, like the very like creepy way they talk about, like he reminds me of someone. I was like, is he like 300 years old? Like this is like a child he like took. But I second that, Nana.
That's so good. 5 stars.
It's so good.
It's been on my shelf for years, like since it came out. So
read it. Read it right now. Also, speaking of like how you were like, I feel so dumb. Dude, I feel so dumb. The title? Hey, the title. Yeah, that's the ending, my guy.
Yeah.
I
meant it.
This book had me surprised Pikachu. Like,
it very much reads as a serial, so I didn't realize until after I finished the book that it was serialized.
Oh yeah,
because I was like, "What's with all of these cliffhangers?"
Every single chapter, she's like, "It's Tempest."
My review for this book is going to be "Men Love Disguises."
Oh my god! Okay, that part I was like, "Are you and Rochester like? Do you guys have a weird boys' club where you're like, what are you gonna dress up as?" Like,
it's like in the girls' chat where you're like, "What are we wearing?" But it's the boys being like, "What disguise are you wearing?"
Yeah, it's like it was so silly. Like, and you guys are both talking about like the sort of interesting publication history. I saw like a reference to like, because she wrote this because she needed the money, which like I understand, girl.
Fair.
And her publisher or editor, whoever requested it, was like so specific. He's like, it will be 24 chapters. Every second chapter must end with a cliffhanger because it's going to be like serial. Like it was like a made to order sort of situation. And then he's like, actually, that's too freaky. Like that's a little much even for me. So, just like a truly wild like story start to finish. Like,
have either of you watched Dickinson?
No.
Oh, it's a funny show. I would watch it, but I would watch it. Like I haven't. But there's like, all these random like, not cameos, obviously, because they're like actors, they're not the real people, but they'll just be like, and here's this historical person, and here's this like literary. So there's one where it's just like Louisa May Alcott's there, and she's like, yeah, and my publisher wants me to write that. So it just like made me think of that because she's like, yeah, he wants me to write this thing. Like it's very much that vibe.
Yeah.
She's so casual about it. Okay, back to like the morality of it all, because I do want to talk about that more. It is very interesting, Kara, you kind of talked about this a little bit, how this book really is, and maybe it's because, it's written by a woman, it is very forgiving of Rose, and it's very much in the lens of like, no, you did not sin, like you were just you were sinned against, you were put in this situation. Yeah. So I think that's very very progressive.
Yeah. I like one of my favorite things about the book, because like there's a lot of moments where I'm like, I hate the way that you wrote this. Like I can see that you're trying to say something nice about women, but like I hate this. But one of the things that I genuinely like, basically no notes, I loved it, was like how often Rose's allies were other women who were helping her. And like the fact that like one of her biggest defenders is her asshole husband's like wife, like previous wife. I love that. Chef's kiss.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
Like
I was literally just about to say that, like from the beginning, she's like, Rose has done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I was hoping she'd come stay with me because I can offer her safety. Yeah. Let's hate Tempest together.
Yeah, exactly. I loved that like whole vibe. I loved Honorine. She was so fun.
Yeah.
And even though that was like the classic sort of like 1900s dig at like, well, she's an actress, so her morals are a little loose. I like that is like actually challenged. Like specifically, Rose is like, oh, I misjudged her. She's like one of the best people I've known, So yeah.
And she says it out loud to her. She's like, I thought she's like, I'm so sorry. I thought I was better than you. You are like so awesome and kind. And she's like, yeah, and that's what makes me so beautiful.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And like how
beautiful,
like,
even though she's 30.
Really,
yeah, even though I'm a hag of 30 years old.
I know, that's right. Like Miss Havisham over here, like rotting. Yeah. Yeah, so true. But yeah, I loved that. And like how Honorine is really one of those people where it's like she recognizes that like she's definitely had hard parts of her life, but like at this point she's very lucky and very privileged, and she's like, well, of course I'm going to use that to help other people. Like that's the whole point of everything. And I'm like, I love you, girl. That's so cool. So yeah.
Even I forget her name, but the costume girl who like gets her over there, it's like
Pauline?
That's explicitly said in the book. Like she's like, that's not even her friend, it's just another girl who lives in the building. But she's like, well, I can't go over there because they would target my friend knowing that I would go to her for help. So, and then how did she write it? It was so sweet. It was like she was like pacing back and forth and like nodding to herself, trying to figure it out. And she was like, it would have been ludicrous if it wasn't so earnest. Like she's really like thinking, she's like, this is gonna work. Like
yeah, it was so so sweet and so like earnest, as you said, like just very like genuine like solidarity between women, especially because I think a lot of them, or maybe not a lot of them, but like there's explicitly like she tells them like why she's running, that like her husband is coming after her. And I think that's one of the things that makes Pauline like, okay, we're getting you out of here right now, like don't worry about it, I'll figure it out. Like even though they're not super close, they're like basically neighbors. And I love that.
And the Mother Superior too, same thing.
Yeah, I feel like out of all of the characters, there's only one woman that isn't particularly kind to her, and it's that nun that takes over after the Mother Superior dies.
Something that I thought was interesting is that even her, because like she's very unlikable and she does like really messed up things, but when she finds out like the truth about like why Rose is like leaving, like she's immediately like, oh, I did not know that, like no, I'm not helping you anymore. And it's like the damage is already done, and she was very selfish and petty. But it's interesting that like even she's not like completely like the other woman who is like so unlikable. So
no, it's usually men who either through like greed or ignorance, like the Comte, who I have issues with him.
Oh my god, yeah.
I hated that man so much. Like for the most part, like the men are the ones inflicting that sort of like pain, or not believing her, or believing that she belongs with this man because he's her husband.
Yeah.
Yep. Wild stuff. Okay. Any more thoughts on morality? Perhaps the preachiness of it all? Do you feel like it was a statement? Do you feel like Louisa, like, what do you think the commentary was?
Right? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Good question. Like I like we were kind of talking about, is like I do find it really interesting and impressive that one of the takeaways of the main relationship, almost at least, which like is a big chunk of the book, is like sometimes you can't fix him, and like that is impressive. That this was sort of like a counter argument to like the love of a good woman can change a bad man sort of thing. Like that is not her responsibility, and it might not even be possible, and like that's on her, or not on her, I mean. So I like that. There were other parts that did feel very heavy-handed, but I think because there was just so much like plot stuff and plot drama, it felt less moralistic than the other books I've read from her. And also like maybe in a weird way, because I feel like Rosamund was like a much less developed character than usual. Like it really felt like reading like ye old Victorian manic pixie dream girl. Like that was like literally every man that crossed paths with her is like, I would lay down my life for you. You are so beautiful and innocent.
Because there's never been a girl who's more beautiful or more innocent, obviously.
Yeah, it's the most. She is the most. And that's why, everybody wants to help her. Like all the men want to help her.
Even in scenes when she's with another woman, Louisa May Alcott goes out of her way to say, like, the other woman was fine, but Rose here, gorgeous.
And I do give Louisa May Alcott credit. At least she didn't do the like stereotypical like fall in love with a priest and he leaves the priesthood thing. I was glad
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I was glad she didn't do that. But I don't know. I just got very mixed feelings about this book, which is par for the course for me with Louisa May Alcott. Like, I mean, when we finished Rose and Bloom, Julia, like I was like incandescent. Like I was so upset with the way that I feel like the end of the book contradicts all of the like feminist messages that we got early on. Like there's some of those like fantastic speeches about like women having minds as well as hearts, and then like the end of the book is like, you silly girl, go home to your man. And I hate that. And this one didn't do that in the same way, so like maybe it's, I don't know, a little better.
Yeah, in terms of morality, I still have a hard time trying to figure out what Louisa May Alcott is trying to tell us, or what she's trying to like say about either the state of morality or whatever lesson she wants to convey. Yeah. Like maybe it's because
check for wives.
Background check.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back to our comment about like Rose or Rosamund. I think the thing that really frustrated me with that was she seems so impetuous and stubborn in the beginning of the book, and then she's just so docile by the end, and that really ticked me off. Like, part of me gets it in that, like, you know, a toxic relationship can really like weigh you down and take the life out of you, but we just never see any inkling of that again after the first part.
And even it seems like even the parts where she is escaping like through her own actions, it's like it turns out, oh, it was a setup. Like it wasn't really her taking charge of it. Like she definitely is a very like damsel in distress sort of passive character for some of it. And I also like the book, like so much of the book is like telling us about Rose, like and what kind of person Rosamund is, but like I feel, to me, it felt like she was still such a flat character because almost everything we heard about her wasn't really about her. It was people reacting to her. Like, it was like, she's so beautiful, that she's so like innocent and charming, that like, it's all about like the men around her being like affected by like her presence, which was very passive. Like the honestly, the scenes where she had, I think, more of a spark or more of a personality were when she was with the other women, which maybe that was an intentional choice on Louisa May Alcott's part. I don't know, but yeah, I obviously felt for what Rosamund was going through just as a human being, but in terms of being attached to her specifically as a character, I really wasn't. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry, what was your original question, Julia?
We're going to pause because, first of all, that's amazing because we are going to transition into characters. So you're just segueing beautifully. Thank you. I realized I forgot to ask you guys your rating, but do we want to just save it for the end? Because I think that would be kind of fun.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'll ask you at the end. Yeah. We'll discuss this book and then I'll be like, so what did you actually rate it? Because I feel like I'm starting to pick up vibes, but we'll get there. Okay. Yeah. So we're talking Rosamund.
Yeah, about Rosamund and like being kind of a passive character in a lot of ways. I mean, like she does like actively like choose to leave him. Like, I mean, honestly, the whole like first escape sort of thing, that was all her. And I liked that. And we do see some of that later on, but like, I don't know, even like at the end, like not only is it just frustrating that like you kept thinking she would make progress and then guess what? Philip's here because he's always here. Even aside from how like annoying it was to read that over and over, it's like when she gets like rescued by Ignatius, which like I was glad she had like her only real friend back, one of her only friends, but like the way the whole scene was that she's like, and now I don't have to think anymore because the man is here. Where are you taking me? I don't even care. Like,
I know.
Okay, I will say I also really like the part where they're hiding in the closet and she jumps out to disguise
when she does like active things. Yeah.
That's another strong character moment.
Well, like in the beginning too, when she like rappels down the balcony.
Yes.
And then and she crawls out of her window and somehow like Spider-Man's her way to her neighbor's thing with Pauline. And then we never see her use that again.
secretly a circus performer, and it's never touched on. Like,
I mean, she had to get out of her window to spy on Tempest and Mrs. Tempest in the first place. So she's good at crawling and climbing. She's an agile girl. Yeah. I get it. She's not like a fully fledged character. Like, I would not be like, this is a well-rounded, well-developed character. But I do think, like, she's got spunk. Like I like in the beginning where she just stands up to him a bunch and is like, yeah, and I'm gonna walk on this stupid little balcony and you can't pick me up. And he's like, I'll get you down right now. And she's like, put me down right now. Like a little girl who's not afraid to yell at an old man. He's 35. An old man.
Yeah, no, that's true. I liked their interactions a lot, actually, at the beginning. Like, still very much, like, unsettling vibes, but when she was standing up to him so much more, it felt like we got to see more of her personality. And it was also just, like, kind of satisfying that, like, yeah, he's Mr. Big, like, worldly, like, I don't care about anything or anyone. I don't have any feelings because I'm a man. And then she, like, does her little balcony thing, and he's like, whoop! Like, he tries to grab her. Like, he got scared. He got scared he was going to lose her. And I was like, that's an interesting setup for the book. So,
yeah. What are your feelings about Mr. Philip Tempest?
He should have been the devil.
Toxic boyfriend.
The fact that Philip kept popping up everywhere, that also contributed to me thinking that he was secretly Satan. Like, there was no way.
Like,
everywhere.
And it was like the conveniences of like the number of times where he was like, yeah, and then Bautiste was walking through Paris and he saw you in this one shop. And I'm like, did he really? Like, what are you? It was ridiculous. Yeah. And I mean, that did contribute to it feeling like genuinely frightening that she, like, I mean, I saw a lot of like reviews or editorial discussion of this book talking about like how modern the subject matter is because it's about a stalker essentially. And so like him being able to continuously find her, like, it's not that isn't realistic. I just think that the way that it was like clockwork in the book made it feel a little like ridiculous sometimes. Also, I feel like the whole thing with the madhouse was really glossed over. Like, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she's like basically like strapped to a bed or, you know, one step removed from that. Like, and that's terrifying because that really points to how easy it was to lock up women in recent times. And it's like, I don't know, she's able to like nice her way out of it pretty easily. And I just don't feel like that was like, that's horrifying that he so easily gets all these strangers on his side. And that's exactly what abusive people can do. And then she's just like, but I had really good manners. And so they were nice to me and they let me outside to walk in the garden. And I'm like, well, all these other like mad women don't get that. So yeah, anyway, I'm sorry. That's not to answer your question, Julie. I'm sorry.
But both of those things are, I will say, like things that literally Louisa wrote where I was like, okay, thank you. Because she puts in the narrative, she's like, oh yeah, it's wild that like women who are inconveniences can just be thrown in here. And I'm like, okay, thank you for saying it. Because that's exactly what this is. And that's what they're doing. And then she has a line as well about, I think maybe Rose even just like says it out loud to Philip, or it's in her narrative where it's like it doesn't matter what I do because like I'm a woman and he's a big rich man. People are always going to believe him, even though I'm the innocent one and he's the bad guy. They're just going to help him and think that it's my fault.
And the fact that people tend to believe the men at face value, like the Comte, who I will fight, who believes Father Ignatius when he tells them about Rosamund's past. But then another man comes in. This is a woman he's supposed to marry, but another man comes in and tells him something else. And he's like, I have no choice but to believe this.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, the fact that men so readily believe other men and not the women in their lives, which is what makes it so refreshing when the women tend to believe Rosamund, like, right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she literally wrote, oh yeah, she said it out loud. She said, I am solitary, poor, and a woman. He is powerful, rich, and a man whom all fear. The world which rejects me, though I'm innocent, will welcome him, the guilty, and uphold him. And I wrote, bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was right.
There were some really good like parts about that. And like you said, Taylor, like the Comte is somebody who initially does believe her, and like even though even the true version of the story is something that society would consider like, well, she's damaged goods, you know, a man shouldn't be expected to marry her, to care about her. Like, despite all that, he does love her and care about her, supposedly. But then a man shows up with a contradicting story, and it's like it didn't happen. And I know the book was trying to make us understand, it's like he has all this trauma about like madness and blah blah blah, and like the grief of his first wife, and I'm like, okay, I get that, but like he didn't ask her anything about, like he just like observed, and he like saw her doing things that fit with that narrative, and he's like, it's true, she's lost to me forever. And I'm like,
yeah, if he's so worried about marrying another person with mental health issues, just delay the wedding by 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, like, get a doctor's note. Like, it feels like there are so many other avenues to pursue before he's like, well, you are dead to me, our wedding is off, my heart is broken, and this is all your fault. It's like, what?
Well, don't be silly, guys. He can't ask the crazy woman if she's crazy, because if she says she's sane, she doesn't know she's sane. That doesn't make any sense. She wouldn't know.
Nina, that is what I am continually trying to figure out and understand, and I still don't know. I don't know. Lisa, did you like women or not? Like,
yeah, because there were some sentences in the book, like for the most part, you have this running theme of like women helping women, or like women, you know, men holding women essentially in this powerless state in society. But then sometimes she'll have a sentence like, and she was mean, like, you know, how all mean girls are, or she was jealous in the way that women tend to be. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about?
There were honestly some lines that reminded me of Three Musketeers, because of the way that it was like, and then her simple-minded woman heart made her do this thing, and I'm like, what? And even stuff where it's supposed to be like complimentary, or like things that are supposed to make us like Rosamund. Like, there's one, this happens a few times, but there's one time in particular where like, I think it's our first scene with her and Tempest, like after a year and they've been married a while, and she's like looking at the balcony and it's talking about how beautiful she is and how dramatic she is against the backdrop, and it's describing her dress and her hair and her jewelry, and it's like, but she wasn't that interested in it because she wasn't like other girls. Like, she looks beautiful, but she doesn't know she's beautiful, and also she's not a stupid woman who's into fashion. So she's better.
And because she doesn't know she's beautiful, it makes her all the more beautiful.
Yeah, it really, like, this song was sponsored, this book, I guess, was sponsored by One Direction.
I was gonna say, someone start playing.
Yeah.
Okay, I have read this theory. Since I'm not super familiar with her works, I can't speak to anything else. With this book, I feel like we don't really get any sort of, it's a very binary book.
Yes, very gendered.
I would argue that this book is just like so campy, so like, I mean, it's not for the people in that it didn't get published, but you know, it's like it's melodrama. Like, so she's not thinking like, what would I want to read? What do I like? She's just like, ooh, drama. So yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with. And this is kind of too, even going back to like the whole theme of like, you know, being moralistic. Like, I think even some of the things that she like tries to say, because her other books can be like kind of preachy at moments too, but it's like usually things that I like kind of agree with. I'm like, you're being a little bit preachy right now, but I mostly agree with you, so I'm gonna let it slide, Louisa. But like even the things here, I'm like, okay, you're kind of sliding it in there, But then this book is so crazy that I'm like, I feel like you kind of have to, because it's like, otherwise we're just, whoa, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about Rosamund a little bit. We talked about Tempest a little bit. Any other thoughts on the two of them? Do you want to talk about their relationship?
Yeah, I will say, like, along with the theme that we've all sort of talked about of like, hey, there were things about this book that actually did surprise me, which was fun. Because I think stereotypically I don't tend to think of like melodrama or like sort of pulp kind of books like that. Even though I don't like using that description, if I were to picture a book like that, I wouldn't necessarily think of it as like, I don't know, surprising you in like new and clever ways or anything. So that was cool. But one of the things like that was I really couldn't tell from like the beginning and the middle if it was going to be like a love redeems a bad man kind of story. Like she actually like had me uncertain about that, and I think that was impressive. And I also think that is interesting in the context of this book that deals with an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Like how Rosamund would struggle with her like determination and her choice in a way that felt very like human and very natural. Because like when he's there and he's being charming and he's fawning all over her and he's like all these things that like real life abusers tend to be very good at, like it makes sense why she would find it hard to like stick to her decision about that. So I thought that was well done.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just agreeing with you. And
no, I was done.
No, I 100% agree with you in the sort of like push and pull of a toxic relationship. And also at some points her thinking like, maybe it's just easier if I'm with him, because then I'm not going to get stalked and my life isn't going to get continuously ruined. Something I wanted to add about Tempest as well is like near the end of the book when he once again stalks Rosamund and he's at his ex-wife's house and like the priest is like sort of accepting him. Rosamund is just sort of sitting there, but he's having this moment with his kid, Leto, and even his ex-wife is like, this is a very pretty scene. And Tempest, of course, has to like ruin it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very interesting because I feel like you see that a lot with toxic people. Like they get close to like, you know, getting what they want, even if it's not, or getting what they need, even though it's not what they want. And then they just absolutely ruin any chance they have of happiness.
Yeah. This is almost wholesome. You blew it.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And this is, I guess, kind of related to Tempest as well, although I think of it as more of like an Ignatius character moment. But like where he shows up and he's like, I want you to fight me, I want you to duel me. I love that scene. Like I think I've said in previous live shows that I love when a male character is like dueling a stupid and I won't do it. I'm like, yes, I love that.
Scene is so good.
It's so good. And when Ignatius, because of course he's like secretly a nobleman because you can't have like a regular person.
Obviously.
No.
But he's like, oh, let me see if I'm still a good shot. And he like turns around and he shoots a bird out of the air. And like Tempest is watching. And then he like puts it down and he's like, you can take those guns away. I'm not shooting anything else today. And like Philip is like frothing at the mouth. Like he is so mad. He wants to fight him so badly. And I love that. I think that was so satisfying to like just watch this like very unassuming priest who, though apparently he's not that unassuming because actually he's hot, and once we knew that he was hot, then Rosamund's like, all right, it's not so creepy that he's in love with me now. All of a sudden it's fine. But yeah, that whole scene was so good. Like just, and I like that it sort of pushes back against the like stereotypical like masculine things of like, I'm ready to duel for my woman kind of thing. And it's like yeah, Ignatius does get mad and like fight him, but he doesn't participate in this whole like ritual of, I don't know, like testosterone, like being a strong man protect woman kind of thing. So
well, when he like, I think he shoves Tempest at some point, and Tempest hits his head, and when Tempest comes to, Ignatius is like lovingly caring after him, and he's like, this is so humiliating.
Yeah, it was good. That's probably one of my favorite scenes. Like I really liked that.
Tempest is like, why didn't you kill me? And he's like, well, you know, the fight is done, so Here we
So
are.
what is done?
He's like, the fight is done, you know.
Yeah. He was said something like, I didn't want your blood on my conscience.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like, you're not even worth like getting my morals all messed up for. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of which, I've put it off long enough. We need to talk about Ignatius. Thoughts, feelings. Now I'm the one frothing at the mouth. Go ahead.
I have problems with his place in the story as like the savior of Rosamund.
Yeah.
But as a character, he's incredibly sexy.
We love a man who yearns.
Yeah, we have this like handsome priest who's so devoted to her, but he's also devoted to God, and he has this struggle, but he's super attracted to this hot chick, but he's struggling.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about him that like I found incredibly charming, and I feel like if Rosamund was more of an active protagonist past the halfway point of the book, I think I would have enjoyed his placement in the book better. But on his own, I love him.
Yeah, like I said at the very beginning of our discussion, I was like very pleasantly surprised that it didn't turn into a like hot priest leaves the priesthood because like she's just so sexy sort of thing. Because like I really don't like that trend. The fact that there's an entire subcategory of romance that is hot priest is like upsetting to me. Like it's just weird. So I appreciate that wasn't a thing that happened here, and I feel like the book actually handled his conflict, like his internal conflict, like relatively well. Like there were parts that I think were affected by like the other questionable themes that the author was handling, but like I don't know, I think it was more like it felt respectful of his choices while also making the reader like care about the two of them, like what was going to happen. And I also thought it was a really nice twist, like an interesting twist, that Ignatius, you think, is like the creep who's been like corrupted, and actually it's the nice old man who like you can bribe him to do literally anything.
That was another twist that got me so good. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was honestly shocked. Like, so
like,
I thought that was
legit thought Ignatius was gonna do something real bad, real creepy.
Like, I thought he, like, when the other priest is like, oh, he was planning to carry you away today, I was like, oh my god, he had that boat and everything.
I
like,
know.
Yeah. So I thought that was a very well done twist.
Yeah, and it is chilling when she starts her confession and it's Tempest in the confessional.
As soon as she went into that confessional, I'm like, girl, that's not what's going on. Like I knew. But yeah. And it was also an interesting choice that like Ignatius later, like he refers to the other like bad things that Philip has done, like these crimes. I don't remember, like I don't know why he would have been the confessor. And I don't think Philip was even Catholic, so I don't even know how this makes sense. But like somehow Ignatius ends up knowing about that, and he's like,
crazy to think about him going to confession. Actually,
it's wild. It's truly wild. Like, I don't understand. But however it happened, he ended up being on the receiving end of that like confession or those like things that he did, and the fact that Ignatius like mentions them to him, and he's like, "You're lucky that." You're lucky for the sanctity of the confessional, or I would like ruin you. And then Tempest is just like really stressed about it. I don't know.
Yeah, he's so sweet.
Yeah, I understand why you don't like the priest leaves the order for a sexy lady, but I was kind of like, I think Rosamund deserves just one night with him.
She could have a little hot priest as a treat.
Well, I'm like, Taylor, how do you feel about us discussing this as you actively read The Hacienda? I'm like,
I know. I'm also like, as a treat. It doesn't have to be forever, just once.
I digress. Yeah. I love Ignatius so much. You knew I would. You guys, come on.
I didn't know you would.
You were reading this book like, oh no, Julia's in trouble.
Yeah, literally, I kid you not. I was like, Julie's gonna love this man.
Yeah. But I also did like him as a character. Like, even aside from like how pleasantly surprised I was by how like he was handled, like his choices were handled specifically in the story. I did really like him, and I thought he was a really nice contrast, like obviously like to Philip in very obvious ways, but also just like what we were talking about with like toxic masculinity specifically, and how like the priesthood, like as it's portrayed here, it's like very different from like the performative like big strong man protect woman kind of thing. Like it's much more like, you know, emotional, stereotypically like associated with women. And so I thought that was really cool that like the book wasn't like, they were kind of showing like this is the way to be like an actually strong man, is to like have convictions and to like help people and to do good things. So I liked that a lot.
Here. Let that be like the whole statement of this live show. That was good.
I do like that Rosamund caught him reading like the Martin Luther book, and the book part that was like
the part where he like marries the girl.
He's like dog-eared it. He's like, I like that page.
Yeah. But don't you guys think though that like part of what makes the dynamic so interesting and compelling is that he doesn't give in? Like, because if he did, it wouldn't be.
He doesn't
right?
at all.
He doesn't contrast between Philip.
I don't even think he's like held her hand. This guy, he looks at her with his heart in his eyes, literally verbatim from the book.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I love him for it. He's so sweet. And just
I do hate the number of times he calls her my child after they're like, he's like, well,
but in his defense,
I'm like,
oh yeah, are we gonna?
I'm like, I understand that's like a like father and congregant thing in this context.
But then why do we also have to disguise ourselves as actual father and daughter?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That was two nosy old ladies who are like, they are sleeping together. Like, they are not siblings.
It's crazy that they clocked them. They were like,
immediately.
These French people are weird. Why are they putting on this pretense?
Yeah, no, I can imagine how like freaked out someone would be when they're like, oh, a father and daughter, and then they start looking at each other lustfully, and you're like, oh my god.
You're like, I really hope that you're lying. Like,
please be lying.
I'm not kink shaming. I'm kink asking why.
I'll kink shame.
Some things I think should be kink shamed. That could be the other tagline of this life. Some things.
But it's not for them. It was all innocent. He didn't touch her.
Yes. I don't know what about this discussion reminded me, but like, I don't know if you have a question about this, Julia. The part where she finds that other girl who killed herself, like, I don't know, like
that she killed herself. I knew she was dead. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, she had like a suicide note.
There was like a note.
Well, I knew there was a note.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I'm not reading critically, apparently.
You would know. I was just wondering because like that was one of the parts where there were things I could see about the way the book was doing it, where I'm like, okay, yes, you are treating this woman with sympathy, which especially for somebody who died by suicide, like in that time period, it would have been considered like that they had done like the biggest sin and everything. So like I get that. But there were also lines that were like Rosamund. Well, the fact that Rosamund used her as a decoy didn't sit well with me. That just felt kind of sad. Like it really bothered me, especially because the girl's note was about like, I hope somebody will remember me, because she had nobody. And so the fact that she didn't even get to keep her own body, almost like didn't like that. I know that Rosamund like thought about her and prayed for her, but it felt weird to do that. But also like, there's a line where like after Rosamund like stages that whole thing and she leaves, it's something about like the sympathy that she feels for a girl who had like suffered even more than she did, but had been less strong or something like that. And I really didn't like that. And like there were other parts in the story where like somebody killing themselves or threatening to do that was talked about like a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like this constant back and forth of like almost romanticizing it, which I hate, or framing it as like not being strong enough, which I also hate for different reasons. So
yeah, it can't be both.
Yeah, it's like choose a problem to have with
Yeah.
So
You're so
I don't know
right,
like, if you guys
actually.
had thoughts on that part specifically, but
You know, I didn't have a question about that, but you're actually so right, because yeah, you can't argue both of those things. Like, I wouldn't agree with either, but you can't argue both.
Yeah.
Contradictory.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, literally Rosamund like shoots herself in the side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just very strange, and I feel like it's one of the ways of like the Rosamund being like the best girl to ever girl is like sometimes handled in really uncomfortable ways, because it's like even like a suicide victim, they're like, Rosamund would never. She's better. Like it's just it was really I didn't like it. And I feel like I'm not giving enough credit to the fact that like Louisa May Alcott was writing this in a very very compassionate way for the time, like the way that they talk about that girl, and like that she was wronged, you know, that she wasn't the one who did something wrong, that she was the one like who was sinned against and everything. So I do appreciate that. It's just like hard to take that with the rest of it, you know. I did not like how that was handled at all. And I get that it was like it was partly set up so that we could see how Tempest reacts to that like, oh, he does have a heart because he was like really upset kind of thing, but it's just weird to throw that in.
Yeah, he's upset because his favorite hobby is dead. Like,
no kidding. Oh my God, Taylor, it's so true. Like,
it was so stressful to me that every time she was finally safe and sound, there was this part in her brain that she was like, but I wish I knew if Tempest was looking for me. And I'm like, don't worry if he's looking for you. Be safe.
Does he miss me? It's like, yeah.
Don't worry about it, please.
Yeah. Which I feel like is also like a stereotype about women that has some very harmful consequences. This idea that like, oh, women like to be chased. They like to be pursued. Like there was some stuff about that in this book that I was like, I don't like that. Like, nope. So,
okay. A wild card motif I want to throw at you guys and see what your thoughts are. Kara actually already hinted at this earlier when you said, ooh, it got a little Three Musketeers for a moment. There are so many literature references and even like there's ones that are actually like mentioned, and then ones where I'm like, are you Louisa? Is that? So let's talk about ones that we noticed, some of which we've read for Past It Classics.
Yes.
Many of which like, actually.
The Jane Eyre fanfic was strong. Like
yes.
And not in a bad way. It was really interesting that there were some plot beats that were almost identical, and yet they still kind of surprised me for being in this story.
The old second life.
That was a big one I noticed. What was the other one? You guys should share yours. There was another one I was going to mention that I can't remember right now. But
see, I feel like I wasn't reading as closely as I could have, because other than like the Jane Eyre like fanfic vibes, which I get it. Like as a Jane Eyre lover, I understand. But I wasn't paying attention as much to literary references, so I am very interested to see what you guys caught.
I have a billion. I started tabbing them because I was like, oh my God. Well, the fact that his name was Tempest and then early in the book he called her Miranda. I was like,
I know.
Yes.
I know. Actually, okay, wait. The first chapter title is Fair Rosamond, and I'm like, Julia's living right now. Like,
I actually started one tab color originally was just for Shakespeare, and then I had to expand just to literature.
Actually, one that I think the strongest vibe I got from the book was Rebecca. And like in your review, Julia, you say like she would have loved Daphne du Maurier, and like I really agree. There was a lot that like the whole setup is very Rebecca, that it's like this young innocent girl who doesn't have much of a personality, but like this older man who's like really dark and mysterious, like they fall for each other, but you think maybe it's on her side only, but then that's not true. And like the whole book you're kind of wondering like, all right, how bad are we talking? Like normal bad or like bad, and then it's oh, murder. It's funny though, because like I remember when I read Rebecca the first time, like I really enjoyed it, but like one of the things that was sort of like, I guess, tripping me up is I'm like, I don't buy the chemistry between the two characters. Like it didn't really make sense to me. And then I watched the movie with Laurence Olivier being his charming self, and I'm like, okay, well, I get some of it now. I understand.
I see.
I see the appeal.
There is the scene where Ignatius is going to take her to the Comte. And he literally tells her, he's like, have faith and wait. And I was like, is this the Count of Monte Cristo? What are we doing right now? Literally, what are we doing right now? And then he takes her to like this old man and his like teenage daughter. I was like, literally, what book am I in, actually?
Yeah.
And then also like her like escape from the like asylum when she like charms Baptiste. I'm like, okay, milady, let's go, like charm your way out of jail. I love it here, even though it was like a ploy, but still it worked for me. I liked that.
It's a really good book, Nina. As far as the male character being okay bad or bad, I would say bad, like, but it is interesting in that you find out things about other characters that mean he's not the only one. Like,
it's more of an everyone sucks here situation.
Everyone is terrible. Yes, everyone is terrible.
Yeah, great book though.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just a ton. I mean, they're always like referencing like a ton of Greek mythology.
His ship is the Circe.
Yes,
which is like
that one
very interesting in terms of fidelity and also like mind control or manipulation.
Like bewitching.
Yeah, bewitching.
Yeah, they say like Leto looks like some Greek statue. I forget
which
who.
Also, it was so like hilarious and ridiculous that like Leto is apparently Greek, but like he's speaking in Italian to people. Like, I don't know, maybe the words are similar enough, or like maybe they're even spelled the same. I don't know, but it didn't seem like it had the same flavor as Shakespeare being like, this is set in Vienna, but everybody's names are in Italian. Yeah. I don't care. You're gonna like it anyway.
I am really sorry, just randomly. I am sad that the ending of the book is the ending of the book, because I wanted my review, like my Goodreads review, to be like, in spoilers, but sometimes a family is a girl, her ex-husband's ex-wife, her hot priest, and the woman's Greek son. Like,
wait, okay, so the way I thought the ending was gonna go was, I thought like they were going to pretend that Rosamund was dead, and so like Tempest comes in, he's like, oh my god, she's dead, and he goes and kills himself somewhere else, and then Rosamund like gets up and they're like, we are free of him.
Yeah, that would have been better.
That's what I thought was going to happen up until like the last line.
Yeah. Okay, well, hey, I jumped the gun. I talked about the ending. We're going to talk about it anyways. I knew this was going to be a polarizing thing, because when I read that ending, I was reading the book, like, riding this high. I was like, this is fun. This book is crazy. And then I read that ending and I went, oh. So what are your thoughts about the ending, guys?
Personally, I hate it.
Yeah, thanks. I hate it.
Yeah, like, there's a part of me that understands the sort of like vindictive satisfaction that's supposed to come from that, of like, look what you did. You lost the only person who you ever cared about and who thought that you could be better than you were, and it's your fault.
Yourself, yeah.
Yeah, like that, okay, concept I understand, but I really hate that that like for a story that is supposed to be about this girl breaking free, or and like getting away from this man, that it's like, oh, she couldn't in the end, and now she's dead, and she's a lesson for everyone, and also she looks beautiful as a corpse, and I'm like,
you've never seen a hotter corpse in your life.
like weird behavior.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Taylor.
no, I was just gonna say, like, the thing is, like, from a personal point of view, I don't like the ending because I feel like Rosamund deserved better. But even from like a, I guess, subjective point of view, I feel like I wouldn't have minded if Rosamund had died. That doesn't bother me, but I feel like the way she died was just so like inconsequential and anticlimactic. Which, by the way, how did she die? I couldn't get that from the text.
So somehow she was on the boat that he thought, what's his name, was also on?
Ignatius?
Yeah, he was like, he had his like sailor buddies like run down a ship, a little boat, and he thought it was the one Ignatius was on, but I guess it was the other one that like she and everyone, which I guess like fuck all those other people, they're dead too, but what's more important is like the hottest corpse. Yeah, like I think that was a really good way to describe it, Taylor, that like her death feels very inconsequential, and it feels very like set dressing, like a set piece for the men to all have feelings about, because like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any women are there. I think it's just Tempest, Ignatius, and her asshole grandpa, who's now like weeping over her body like he cared, and I'm like,
as if you ever cared about your granddaughter.
Yeah, like you like literally like bet her in a gambling game.
It's like, Rosamund, your peapot sucks.
Yes.
I don't know, the ending also bothered me.
Yeah.
Like, all of the strong female friendships, like, it would have been cool if, like, if she died, like, if the women were there as well to sort of be like, I don't know, look at what you men have done to her.
Right.
That's just me also imposing
reason that they would get there, but I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like her death should have been more important, it just felt so, I don't know how to put it. It was so sudden, honestly.
Yeah. It was so like, I think you used the word anticlimactic earlier, and like I agree. It was weird because it was like, for a story with so much drama, and for a plot twist or plot ending that was also very dramatic, it felt like such a letdown, because it's like it's a very, it's like a very passive death scene.
Yes.
Which is sort of like the ongoing issue with Rosamund's character we've been talking about, is like it happened to her. And I know that that's, arguably true of anybody who dies, but like it just felt extra evidence for her just being like a thing that is there to have stuff happen to her. It felt like even in death she was not treated as her own person.
Well, yeah, I think the whole thing is like the most disconnected it could be, which makes it feel like we should care, but we kind of don't in that moment, because it's like, it's not directly by Philip's hand, because he's giving an order to someone else who's steering a boat. So it's like barely his actual doing, even though it is. And then we don't actually see it happen, so we don't know. It's like a plot twist. And then it's like, again, like no agency, like you said. It's just something that happens upon her, which arguably like murder would be, but it would be something if it's like a situation where she's like, no, and she like steps in front of, and like it has one of her like big moments of like stubbornness, or like, I
like
won't let you do that
choice. Like not that we want her to choose to die, but like that the result being her being killed, it feels like it should have come from her, like maybe protecting. I guess that would also be like very gendered and stereotypical, but like
she would do something.
But I think even a girl protecting a man would be more interesting than like Ignatius trying to protect her.
Yeah. And also like if like the book was trying to say, like with this end scene, if it was trying to say like, look what Philip did, like what he brought on himself, like look what the very real consequences of like this behavior is, I feel like there should have been references to that. Like, not that I want her to like, you know, do her overly explanatory, like here's the moral of the story, but it's like there should have been a more explicit connection between Rosamund's death and like Philip's like agency, like his responsibility, like his fault this happened. And the fact that like he foiled himself because like this was all his choice. Like I feel like even though we can reason that out from what happened in the story, it didn't feel like that's the point the story was making, you know? Like
right. Well, and the fact that he's still Philip. He's still being like, no, she's mine. It's like, okay, well, so you didn't learn anything. Like, you're still a crazy possessive freak.
Yeah. You should have to live with the guilt of what he did, honestly.
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah. And I want that to be made very clear to us as the reader. Yes. And he was miserable. Also, like, going back to the, like, many literary references or sort of callbacks, this is not one that was like reference, and I don't even know if the time periods line up at all. So I'm not saying this was intentional, but I found it very interesting to think about this story compared to Tenant of Wildfell Hall. Because like similar underlying like plot or idea, but extremely different execution. I don't know. I don't have a question about this either. I just was like interesting to think about.
Yeah, I did check the timeline for her and Dumas because I was like, I think so, and yeah, it was like perfect. So I was like, okay, great. She probably did read those. Okay, stepping a little bit back from the ending, but kind of totally relating to Philip and all his nonsense. There is a very constantly present running motif of freedom versus captivity, slavery even, that is like constantly ongoing throughout the book.
A lot of slave master, like master.
Yes.
Slave, like,
which some of it is in the literal sense of like, I'm the master, this is my servant, of like Philip talking to people who like work for him. But then some of it is literally him being like, and I'm your master, Rose. And it's like, whoa. But even, it's interesting. I will go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say, like, even like the servant examples, I feel like also were kind of icky because it was done in such a weird way where like he's like, here, I am giving you this child to use. Have fun. Like it was like
not have fun.
Well, not like that, but you know what I mean? It's like when they were talking about or to the servants, they weren't even talking to them like they were servants. It felt like they were talking to them more like they were like bonded servants or slaves or something. Like, it was, I don't know. It was really strange, and like not to like equate those things, but I just feel like that was one of the examples of like, I can't tell if this is intentionally supposed to be like unsettling or if you just like wrote a slavery allegory and didn't notice it. Like,
well, and that's another reason too where I was like, is this man the devil? Because you got a lot of people like at your bidding.
Yes
he should have been the devil.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
I will honestly say sorry, go ahead.
So much relief. I was just gonna say so much relief that you guys both thought that, because I'm like, am I an idiot? Like
no.
When your boyfriend's so evil that you think he might literally be the devil.
I mean, okay, the other thing that I was wondering is like, do a lot of people just have a picture of Mephistopheles in their home? Because they just had a painting of it, and I was like, that feels very un-Victorian, un-Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels weird.
It's a weird. I also like with the number of times that painting was like talked about and fixated on, I was like, is this like a Dorian Gray situation?
Yeah.
Like, is he like, did he maybe sell his soul and he's like 3,000 years old? Like I had like
backup theory. I was like,
yeah, I had like
for the devil.
Yeah, like multiple like possible explanations, and the answer is like, no, he's like regular garbage, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor, thoughts on freedom versus captivity in this book?
I mean, I agree with everything you said, Kara, and Julia. I think the biggest thing was, I guess that Tempest sees Rosamund as like his belonging, which is why he feels entitled to her, and that I feel like that would play into the sort of like master and slave dynamic. And when she sort of like bucks against that, that's part of why he's so intense.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that like, I mean, he really gets turned on by the whole chasing a woman who doesn't want him thing.
No,
Yep.
But it's interesting that when she's like actively fighting back and like, no, I am still not going with you, and he's like, all right, that was cute for a while, but like now you're mine and you're coming with me, and she's like, no, I'm still not, and he's like, all right, this isn't sexy anymore. Like this isn't like that I think feels very similar to those kinds of like power discrepancies, you know, like relationships where it's like, for the person who has the more power in the relationship, it's like, yeah, maybe you think it's hot, but the second that the other person doesn't play along or doesn't want to, you know, doesn't want to continue in the relationship, suddenly it's not so cute anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked that she like played with language a lot to like keep that going. Like it wasn't always the same thing. Like she talked a lot about her like being like a bird in a cage. Like there was one I forget which time where like, oh, I think like when she had disguised herself as a boy to like get away, and they had whatever guy be her and went off in a carriage, and they were like, oh, he followed the bird to the wrong cage or whatever. I was like,
yeah.
And then it was really interesting to later in the book when Philip has her back again, and he's like, okay, I really need to like change tactics. We're gonna woo her back. She said she doesn't love me anymore. Time to play Sweetie Mr. Cutie Pie. I'm gonna sing you some songs, blah 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 blah. He literally says to her, he starts reversing the language. He's like, I'll be your slave. And I'm like, whoa. He's like actively like switching the dynamic to try to win her back, even though I know he doesn't mean it. But it's like crazy that he said that. But yeah, even in the beginning, I think maybe before they got married or like right when they got married and were newlyweds, he was like, oh yeah, like women are just like slaves to their love and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, clocking you from the beginning, sir.
Yeah. That what you were saying also just reminded me of one of the worst lines from him, which, you know, there's a lot of worst lines from him. Like he says like in so many words, and he's like, oh, that, and it's like the corrupt doctor of like the mental hospital, where he's like, I told him to break your spirit, but he's ruined your health. And I'm like,
like, what did you think was gonna happen?
It's like, but he's still definitely like the good guy in the situation. Like, he didn't follow orders. I didn't want you to be ugly. Just miserable and broken and like,
I wanted you to be tamed, not feeble and ugly.
The worst thing a woman can be.
Yeah, exactly. Keep this up and you won't be a hot corpse anymore. Wild.
Yeah. Okay. Those are all my big things. Do we want to share some quotes?
Yes.
Quotes? I have many.
But
I left my tabs at home, And I'm so sad because I was finishing up the book here, and I had to use pen to mark it.
Oh, I'm pissed at myself, you guys. You have no idea because, well, first of all, started the book and then realized how many things I wanted to tab. And I was like, dang it, I have to go back to the beginning when I'm like 46 pages in, reread and retab everything that I want to start tracking. So I did that. And then thought, like, in the first like little bit that we had Ignatius, I'm like, oh, I really like this guy. Don't know if he'll come back, so I didn't tab anything with him. And then later I was like, I didn't keep track of him, so now I have to go back and tab all his stuff because I didn't. Oh, I'm annoyed. I didn't know if he was going to be featured again. I'm grateful he was, but dang.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so this is one of the ones that I actually I liked. This one didn't make me mad. It's when she's like confronting him. Apparently, the chapter is "The Chase Begins." So, she's like telling him off, and he says, "Ah, my suspicion was correct. Then you heard what that cursed woman came to Valrosa that last night." And she says, "Yes, thank God I did." "And you believed her?" "Every word. But if I tell you it was false and prove it, I should echo her speech. I'll believe nothing, for truth is not in you. Your own lips convicted you. My own senses are to be trusted, and that night's work cannot be undone." I like that in contrast to, like, there's not a lot of explicit gaslighting in the book because most of the abuse is like him catching her, you know, and like tracking her down. But I still think that's a really nice like contrast, like especially my own senses are to be trusted. Like I like that a lot.
Yeah. I have an Ignatius quote.
Yes, lay it on us.
It's near the end after he's had his embarrassing fight with Tempest. And he says, "I shall love her all my life, shall be to her a faithful friend, and if I cannot remain loyal to both God and her, I shall renounce her and never see her face again. You call this folly, to me it is a hard duty, and the more I love her, the worthier of her I will endeavor to become by my own integrity of soul."
I love him.
Love him.
I love him. Woo! Okay. It's funny. I literally just mentioned this quote. I saved the one in the beginning where Tempest is, they're newlyweds. You'll get it in a second. He says, "I was thinking what a curious thing love is. Only a sentiment, and yet it has the power to make fools of men and slaves of women." And then Rosamund says, "It never will have the power to make a slave of me."
Love that.
Girl, you were right.
Yep. This is like along with what we were talking about with like he's like so horny for her to like be mad at him, and then he's like, "Actually, no, I'm tired of this because you're not listening to me." Why, most unreasonable and hard-hearted of charming women, I have gone far and wide for many months searching for you, and when at last I find the desire of my eyes, you turn upon me like a tiger. It is very becoming, but meekness is better. Don't be thorny, little rose. It will avail nothing, for love must conquer in the end. Leave sentiment. I'm sick of it, as I know its worth. How did you find me? The contempt of her glance, the stern command of her voice, stung his pride and for a moment subdued him. For he had never seen her thus, and the new charm arrested him. Like, I really thought that I was like, oh, like he's taken aback because she's like standing up to him, and he's like, nope, just hot. Like
that's hot.
And even the like love must conquer in the end being like a threat, very interesting, and you know, fits in with the book. But.
I have a quote where Philip straight up tells her, like, "I'm a terrible person." And she's like, "Well, I'll just save that for later." Or he goes, "I mean that it is more natural for me to be wicked than virtuous. When I do a bad act, and I've done many, I never feel either shame, remorse, or fear. I sometimes wish it was not necessary, as I don't like the trouble. But as for any moral sense of principle, I haven't a particle. Many people are like me, as their actions prove, but they are not so frank in owning it, and insist on keeping up the humbug of virtue. You'll find that is true, Rose, when you know the world better." It's like, okay. Walking red flag.
Yeah. all the red flags at once.
I know. In the beginning, I was like, should I tab the red flags? And I was like, no, I don't want the whole book to be tabbed.
There's one giant sticky note just on the cover. Like the whole book, red flag.
The whole thing.
Yep.
I have actually a quote that has like nothing to do with anything. I just thought the language was so pretty. And it's like the beginning of a sentence. So I'm just gonna like end it with a ... here, but the peace, the dewy softness, and the mellow moonlight made the night too beautiful for fear. I just thought that was so lovely.
That is. Yeah. It's really
nice.
Is
that the part where she's looking for Leto's body?
Yeah.
Like, that was another part where like, whoa, like really gothic. And then, okay, I don't remember. I'm confused about this. Like, how did he get away? And why did Tempest think that he was dead? Like, I don't remember.
So they buried him alive.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just
why?
That, I was like,
I don't know.
And someone, I guess, took pity on him. So I guess people knew there was a buried alive child.
Or he just dug himself out somehow. I don't know. They didn't bury him deep enough.
Yeah.
They didn't. No one asked enough questions.
Yeah, that's another running theme of this book is like there are more questions.
And it's crazy too that he was like, tell me how you escaped, my boy. Like he's so proud of him for being alive. It's like, you buried him alive.
He's like, what a pleasant surprise. This is so great. I was honestly feeling a tiny bit bad. And I'm like, bro. Oh my God. Yeah. What a time. I also, apparently I didn't mark this quote, but I distinctly remember the one, like, there's like a lot of these classics we've read where it's like, there's not really like the regular kind of racism, but there's that weird Victorian racism where it's like white people are even racist against other kinds of white people. It's like some of the language about these other European countries was so effed up. Like there's that line where they're like going to like a restaurant or a tavern to eat or something, and there's no reason to think that it's like gross and dirty. They just mention that in the courtyard there's like that place, there's like kitchens and like fish houses and blah blah blah, like it's all behind like the restaurant, and the kind of filth that can only be found in an Italian city. And I'm like, fuck you too, Louisa, like what's your problem? Like
I forgot at one point they said something about like Russians, and I was like, I didn't even know this was a stereotype. Like,
it's so weird. And not to mention, like it's also just like wrong and like bad to say it anyway, of course. But like not to mention that this is like published or written just like a few years after the Civil War. It's like people in America are like dying of gangrene. Like what do you mean that it's like filthy like Europe and they're gross like cities? My girl.
No. And like the unnecessary, I mean, it's never necessary, but like the anti-Semitism that pops up, like just so casually, it's so like Jewish people had nothing to do with this sentence. Stop.
Like, don't bring them in. Like, leave them alone. Oh my God.
He's like, yeah, what are you doing? She's like, oh, just reading The Wandering Jew. I think this is the worst person ever.
Yeah.
What?
It was so weird. Like, and I remember that passage you were talking about, Taylor, where it's like just running through all these different like stereotypes, and there were some where I'm like, wow, I did not know that was a racism. Like that was just like wild. Like, oh my gosh, even the complimentary ones are so weird. Like, also kind of a little bit of like a pick-me girl for like England, because she's like, she had the beautiful curve of neck and shoulder that could only be found on women in England. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like,
it's so English of her.
Bizarre. Also, like, side note that apparently Baptiste makes an incredibly handsome woman. Like, that's a fun like I found it really funny that like multiple sort of narrations of these different men were like, oh, that's a really sexy widow over there. And it's like, plot twist. It's a grubby man. Like,
crazy stuff.
And here's the cop that's been following him this whole time that we're just seeing now.
Yeah. Also, like, why every time there's like a disguise in one of these like Victorian or Victorian adjacent books, they're always like, let me color my skin brown for realism. And I'm like,
yeah.
why? Like, why?
I liked Father Ignatius' little disguise when he was pretending to like hide in the bushes so that he could push Tempest into a ravine. Yeah. But I like the idea of him like hiding and he's got little branches he's holding.
Which, might I add, I think is this. Doesn't he hide in a bush 2 times in this
yes.
book? Yeah.
People love to hide in bushes.
That's your thing.
He's really good at it. I don't know, like, I guess that's what they teach you at Duke school.
When in doubt, get in that shrub, I guess. I don't know. It's a good place
All
to
your
hide.
problems are easier to look at when you're in a shrub. Man.
I'm trying to see what other quotes I have. Okay, so after Tempest goes down the ravine, iconic, by the way. I literally wrote bruh in my book because I was like, what? I can't even believe.
I was so surprised. He's like, oh, I can get that flower for you. And I'm like, okay, I get it. He's showing off like she did. And he's like, whoop. Gone.
Again, she was really good with like the plot twists. Like if there's anything Louisa was doing, it was keeping us on our toes. So
sure was.
I'll give her that.
And I don't know if we like explicitly said this, but like I like truly as a sensational novel, it did its job. I did not want to put this book down. Like every couple chapters having a cliffhanger, it worked. Like I was like hooked and I wanted to know things. And even when I wasn't having a great time, I was like, I do want to know what's going on. So,
it's incredibly readable, if that makes sense.
Yes.
For sure.
And it was fun to read like a true like Penny Dreadful style, like from the period. Because like I know of them and I knew about Louisa May Alcott writing some of them, but like it was really fun to read like an authentic like period piece kind of melodrama. Like that was
sure.
Yeah, fun.
Also, sorry, I don't know what we were talking about 10 minutes ago, but nerd.
I mean, it tracks.
On the playback.
I know the context, but you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, but so Ignatius pops out of the bush. Anyways, here we go. Love, stronger, deeper, warmer than before, shone in his eyes, glowed in his face, and sounded in his voice, though by no word did he confess it. Looking at her as a man might look at the treasure of his life, newly rescued from danger, he answered eagerly as he placed cushions behind her and wraps about her feet. I love this man, you guys. The treasure of his life, you guys.
Yeah. It's good. Like I loved too, like every reference to the fact that like they never did anything. Like no inappropriate like contact or like speech or like anything like that. But it's like anytime Tempest sees them together, he's like furious because he can see it. Like he can see like the love in his eyes and stuff. So
it's first of all that everyone knows it, which is crazy, but then also that Ignatius, like literally it says every single time, it's like this man will not say he loves her. Like he will not say it.
Never. He will not.
Anyone else. He's like, I will confess it. I will say it to Philip. I will not tell this woman I love her. That would be too inappropriate.
Yeah, I love him. I love a man who doesn't share that, I guess. Like, yeah.
It's for propriety, you know?
It is. And it's like he even in his narration, he even like outright says this or thinks this, that it's like being worthy of her means that he has to keep who he is. He has to like keep this integrity. And so like being worthy means like not being with her. Like I don't know. I like that.
Yeah. I know I saved the one that Taylor already read.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's great. I love that one. Oh, wait. Where is... Okay, wait, this is the one from the fight. Did anyone read this?
Let's
I
see.
don't think so.
Okay. There is a saying, if you knock an Englishman down in a fair fight, he will respect you ever afterward. It was so now. Few men had ever conquered Tempest in anything, and he felt superior to most. But this man surpassed him in strength, skill, courage, and magnanimity. Yeah, is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Magnanimity? I think?
It's too many syllables
Hard
for
to
me,
say.
guys. For, hard as he was, Tempest still felt the beauty of a generous act, a noble word. Ignatius had conquered in love and war, had borne insult meekly for himself, had avenged it manfully for another, had given compassion for contempt, and having won the victory generously, spared his enemy. It galled Tempest terribly, and yet touched him also, for the noble sincerity of the man impressed him, and the influence of real virtue could not be resisted.
So good.
That's my guy.
Yep.
Oh, wait, is this the one you were talking about, Kara? Sorry. I shall love her all my life, shall be to her a faithful friend, and if I cannot remain loyal to both God and her, I shall renounce her and never see her face again. You call this folly. To me, it is a hard duty, and the more I love her, the worthier of her I shall endeavor to become by my own integrity of soul. Literally, I wrote crying in the club, and that is so true.
Well, and then that chapter ends with like Philip had been bested twice.
Yeah. Tempest
Leaves
sitting
him
in the
alone.
lonely moor, twice conquered in an hour.
Yeah.
I love it when Philip fails.
I sure do. Yeah.
Yeah, did you guys see my Instagram story with the link for the slideshow?
No, I don't think so. Or I saw the reminder. I don't think I saw the most recent.
It's just, hold on.
Is it about Ignatius?
No, it's just this meme that says daily affirmations. It'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass. That evil man will pay. It'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass.
That's it. Yeah, that's the fuck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways.
Now I just want to see a like version of this, or I don't know if it'd be like a retelling or a mashup or what, but it's like John Tucker must die, but it's like all the women Philip has wronged.
Dude,
like, please.
While reading this, I had to go on IMDb. I was like, I can't believe there's not a movie of this.
There isn't even an audiobook.
Hello? Do you know how I would watch the crap out of this movie 100 times? A miniseries even? People would eat this up. It's so fun. It's so crazy. Yeah. Anyways, so now that we're here, do you have any other thoughts before I ask your ratings of this book? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
I think I've covered everything I was interested in talking about.
Yeah. I feel like there's like a joke in here about like if we had a nickel for every past it classic secret wife, you know, like, we might have more than 2 nickels. Honestly, I feel like there's another one I'm forgetting, but
people love to have a secret wife back then.
They sure do. They should like, ladies, ask your man, does he have a secret wife?
He'll probably lie to you, but he might still have a secret wife.
Ladies, find another woman and figure it out about your man. Yeah, so no thoughts.
All right. Drum roll, please. Kara, what did you rate A Long Fatal Love Chase?
I gave it a 3 stars. It was a lot of fun to read, and obviously I loved talking about it, but as was probably pretty clear by how basically every answer I gave was extremely divided, like very conflicted. That's pretty much how I felt about the book overall. There were some things that really worked that I think were really like thoughtful and ahead of their time, but there were a lot of things that undermined that, and I feel like if Rosamund had been a more developed character, that would have, I think, improved the experience a lot, because she's so central to the plot, but in a very like passive way. And like I said at the beginning, it was fascinating to read an 1800s version of Manic Pixie Dream Girl, because it's like literally what it feels like. So I had a really good time with it, but yeah, not a favorite. And my streak of incredibly mixed feelings about Louisa May Alcott is unbroken. Like, how do I feel about this woman? No one can say.
She's impossible to pin down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Taylor, what did you rate it?
3.25 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah. I agree with Kara. Like, there were things that I really enjoyed about the book, and there were some things that Louisa May Alcott was trying to say that I really enjoyed. It's incredibly readable. Like, there were parts where I just couldn't put it down, and it felt so like easy to just sort of like move through the chapters. The writing is pretty good for the most part. But I wasn't a fan of Rosamund. I felt like as a character, she didn't deliver on what we were given in the beginning. And I also hated the ending.
Yeah.
And again, I just find it incredibly weird the way the book is like summarized and marketed. They make it sound like it's like literally like a Faustian bargain, and it's actually not. He's just regular garbage.
Yeah, that's also why it gets a lower rating.
Just a human trash man. That's all.
Yeah. Which, like, don't get me wrong, that in itself can be very effective commentary. I just think that there shouldn't have been so much setup acting like it was going to be something else. Like, it was weird.
And I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. With all Louisa May Alcott, I had fun. I was surprised. I cried. And she gave me a stupid boy that I liked. She always does it.
She really did serve with Father Ignatius.
Louisa knows a man who yearns. She knows that. She knows it in her soul. Yeah. She's Lori, Charlie, Ignatius. She knows them.
And surprisingly, like, very respectful, because I feel like a lot of the like Victorian, like Protestant sort of like vibes, like I don't know, I was expecting a lot worse. So that was like a pleasant surprise, and I'm like, okay, so she's like, maybe people can believe different things, and that's okay. And I'm like, good for you, Louisa.
Very radical for the time.
Yes. And then she's like, look at those gross Europeans, and I'm like, oh, we lost it. Like,
it also was so funny that like Rosamund became a nun, and then she was like, hopefully they don't mind that I'm like a Protestant trying to become a Catholic nun. And I was like, they don't?
That was so bonkers to me, because like at this time period, that was a very big split. Like, probably nowadays it doesn't seem as big of a deal, but like that would have been pretty significant. And so she's like, I guess I'm Catholic now. And I'm like, girl, like,
like, I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think so. Yeah, like I expected like her to either have like some feelings about that, or like other people to have some feelings. I guess when you're falling in love with the hot priest, that's not like the biggest thing on your mind. But like it was, I thought that was kind of wild too.
Maybe that's why the like angry nun should have been mad at her instead of like her being so young and beautiful. She would have been like, she's not even Catholic. Like, why is she here?
She's a poser.
That would make more sense, honestly. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, we just got that is the loveliest thing.
That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Oh,
yay! I love that.
We are so happy to be your company.
Yeah, it's so nice to be back.
It really is. And what a humdinger we came back on.
A humdinger indeed.
I think this is the perfect comeback book.
It really is. And honestly, like the perfect comeback read, because like I said, I haven't been reading as consistently. And
I said, Nana, why did you change accounts? Sleeping pills. I
feel like this is like a perfect comeback book as well, because like it is so readable. Like I literally was like, oh, I should like read a couple more chapters, and it was like 100 pages later. So that like definitely a page turner. She delivered on what she was given, like, or the assignment she was given, I guess. Hilarious that the editor was wildly specific, and then he's like, actually, no. Too weird for me.
That's too much. Yeah. I can't publish this.
Like, and the way I saw it written, the vibe was so funny to me because it was very much like, I'm low key a freak, you're high key a freak. I can't do this. Like, it was so funny. Like, apparently this editor or publisher was known for being a bit risque, and even he was like, mm-mm.
I mean, yeah, the fact that she was like, okay, I'm gonna give her a priest who's in love with her. Also, she's kind of married, but not technically married. And then when they go out and about, this priest says, I'm your dad. What? Louisa, what are we doing?
Yeah. She's like, it's not a kink if you write it in a book. I don't think that's how that works.
She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm just writing it, you guys. It's fine.
Yeah.
Crazy work. Hey, what are we reading next?
That's a great question. It's just
I have it open. So I will be hosting the next, and it'll be the last Plastic Classics of the year, and that'll be Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray.
That's a chonky boy. I need to get started.
Yeah, no, it's chonked.
You know what? It's to make up for our slacking all year. We're atoning for our sins.
Yeah, no.
Very Father Ignatius. The more we talk about that plot point, the more I'm like, did Louisa May Alcott fall in love with a Catholic priest at some point? Or is she just like, I mean, not that everything has to be from life, but I'm just wondering, girl. Like,
it's oddly specific.
Very specific.
And you know what? Hey, listen, I wasn't there. Louisa, live your life.
All right. And on that note,
thank you all for joining us. This, as Kara said, has been a humdinger. This was a very fun live show to come back with. And such a fun book to talk about. Okay, we're on a different account.
Yep.
Third account for the live show.
Yeah.
Now you see her, now you don't.
Yeah.
And we're very excited to read Vanity Fair, very excited to be back. Taylor, Kara, thank you so much for all of your lovely conversation and your jokes and your amazing input as always. I love seeing your faces and talking with you, and this has been great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Julia.
Yeah. If you're watching this live or watching it back, thank you. Leave us a comment.
We're so happy to be back.
Yeah. If you have watched this through and haven't read this book, sorry we spoiled the whole thing, but do read it. It's a wild time.
It is a wild time, and I think it would be even if you know some things that are coming. Because
still crazy.
Wow. Louisa, she went big. She really did.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Bye.
Bye.